All right. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to the second tutorial. So you get to the tutorial, go single player, um, then tutorial, and the second one is win as expansive. So this is the first one. Unlike the very first tutorial, which we basically placed your headquarters on the map for you, and you didn't have to face an AI opponent, and you just had to upgrade your colony 4 times. This one is very different. This one you're going to be searching for a place. You're going to be exploring Mars, trying to find a good place to put your headquarters, and there's going to be another AI opponent on the map, and then the goal of the game is to buy out your opponent on the stock market. So here we go. So you see this is the scanning part of the game. See up at the top here, you see I have 6 scans. You get some, you get a one more every like 4 or 5 seconds. And what you're trying to do is basically search around for a good place to found your headquarters. Now I am expansive, which is kind of the most vanilla of the 5 different headquarters. Their bonus is that they basically get a free claim every upgrade, and that they also they need half as much steel as everyone else does to make their buildings and to upgrade the headquarters. All right, so you can see there's plenty of aluminum and carbon on this map. Not so much water, not so much iron. Ah, this is nice. I found a spot here that's low aluminum, low iron. So if you put a metal mine there, that'll actually produce both of those resources. So that looks pretty nice. And okay, I found some medium water there. There's some other water here if I need it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and found my colony right here. Now you see where it says 108 aluminum and 48 carbon? What that means is, you see if I move my cursor off, you see there's some resources underneath where I want to found my headquarters. When I found, those resources will disappear, but I'll get kind of this one-time bonus from those resources. I'll get 108 aluminum and 48 carbon added to my stockpile. So it's a bit of a short-term, long-term thing. You don't want to found on top of the very best resources, because instead you want to mine them, over the course of the whole game. So I'm going to go ahead and found here. I will start working on this this low iron, low aluminum here. So to get aluminum or to get iron, you mouse over them, and then you see that there's a building off here to the right. Construct metal mine. So I click on that, and then I click on the aluminum iron tile I want. The building will go out there. It'll start constructing. See, it takes basically 20 seconds to make. Let's see. So I should also mention, the most important basically resource you have in the game is not your actual resources, your water, your food, your oxygen, but it's your claims, which is up here at the top. Right now I have 4 claims. That means I can basically claim 4 tiles on the map, which are these hexagons, and put a building on them. So my first claim was this aluminum iron mine here, and you see now it's already starting to produce some iron and aluminum. If I mouse over it, you see each time it gets up to 20, you'll see a blimp pop out and carry the aluminum and iron to my headquarters, which is where it gets added to my stockpile. So you can see the little blimps pop out. You'll see the aluminum and the iron go up. Yep, see 188 to 72, so that's great. So I got plenty of aluminum now. What I need next is some steel, which is really kind of the most important base resource for your buildings and your headquarters. So I go to steel, I mouse over here, construct steel mill. So it consumes 1 iron and produces half a unit of steel per second. So click on the steel mill. It's telling me, it's suggesting good places for me to build. I could put it next to the iron mine. The iron will go directly from the mine into the steel mill, but generally speaking, these secondary buildings, you kind of just want to put them next to your headquarters somewhere. So I'm going to find an empty tile here, which doesn't have any resources on it, and I'll just drop it there. So basically the way it goes is the iron goes into the headquarters, and then it goes into the steel mill, and then it becomes steel. So what else do I want? Well, let me get some water early on here, make sure I have a good source of that. So you see these blue lines, it's telling me good places for me to get some water, and the lines going all the way down here because there's some high water down here. However, it's a long way from my headquarters, which means I need a lot of fuel to ship all that water to my headquarters. So instead I'm going to take this medium water. Let me show you. So down here, see this one, see the 2.4? That means I'll get 2.4 units of water per second from that high water. Right here, you see I'll get 1.8 water per second from this medium water. but since it's a lot closer, I won't need nearly as much fuel. So I'm going to build my water pump there. And what do you need water for? Well, you need water to make food and oxygen. You see all of these resources here are in the red. See, I'm consuming 0.16 units of food per second, because of my my headquarters. Same here, I'm consuming 0.4 oxygen per second. So let me take care of the food first, since that's my biggest need. So I'll click on Construct Hydroponic Farm, find another empty spot for it. I'm going to put it here. When you put these secondary buildings down, you kind of want to think ahead a little bit. So I'm imagining that at some point I'll need more than one steel mill and hydroponic farm. So I kind of imagine that I'm going to put other steel mills here and other farms here. And the reason for that is when you have buildings of the same type that are adjacent to each other, you get a bonus. If there's one building adjacent, you get a 50% bonus. If there's two, you get 100%. If there's three, you get 150%, and it just keeps going up all the way. To 300% if you're surrounded by the building, which doesn't happen very often, because at that point you'll have so many resources it'll be kind of worthless. You'll basically be sort of flooding the market. Alright, so I got my food, got my steel mill. What else do I need? Well, I want to get some oxygen, so maybe construct an electrolysis reactor. That's kind of the electrolysis reactor is an interesting building because it's the only building in the game that produces two resources. You see, it produces both oxygen and fuel, and I've got excess water, so great. Let me do that too. So maybe I'll put that here, because I imagine I could put 3 electrolysis reactors here. And now you see I'm out of claims. All right. So what do I want to do to get more claims? Well, you'll see here. Upgrade my headquarters. All right, so this is where it shows you I have an expansive level 1 HQ, and here's the upgrade button. So to upgrade, you need aluminum, you need steel, and you need glass. You see those nice check marks there show me that I have all those resources. So I'll hit upgrade, and look up at the top at the claims. When I hit upgrade, I get 5 new claims. So I can grab 5 new resource spots. I could build a chemical lab, a glass blower, a electronics factory. I could make one of the more advanced buildings, a pleasure dome, a patent lab. There's all sorts of stuff I can do. But what's the most important? Well, okay, so I've dropped down negative in water. That's because I've got the farm, the reactor, and also my headquarters is consuming water, so maybe I should get some more water. In this case, I will go ahead and grab the high water down here and make sure I have enough. Okay, well, I forgot about power. So power is a little different from the other resources because you don't stockpile it. You basically have to either buy it, you either sell it or buy it, depending upon whether you're positive or negative. And right now I'm negative, because all my buildings are consuming power. And basically you multiply the rate times the price, which is how I get this, that I'm losing 38 per second. Now 46 per second, because one of my buildings must have just come online. Probably with the water pump I just built down in the south. If you mouse over my debt here, you see this. The debt keeps going up. That's because I'm losing 48 bucks a second from power. Now we used to have it where if you were forced to buy power from the market, it came out of. Oh my gosh! Oh goodness! I thought it crashed. It came out of your funds. But the problem with that is you got the situation where you had money that you wanted to do something with, but then it suddenly disappeared as you were selling it off on the market, and it got really frustrating. And you had to kind of rush real quick to be able to use the money that you had. So instead, we created this concept of debt, that if you have to buy something from the market, if you're forced to buy something from the market, it gets added to your debt, which you can pay off whenever you want to. So at any rate, instead of talking about debt, I should probably be doing something about it. So let me build a geothermal plant. That's the most powerful source of power in the game. I see there's a source down here. This can produce 2.4 units of power, which you see be definitely more than enough to take care of my power needs. All right. So 3 more claims. Maybe I should think about glass, because the glass is another one of those resources I need for upgrading. You see, if I mouse over the upgrade button, it tells me I've got plenty of aluminum, got plenty of steel, but what I'm missing is glass. So let me build a glass furnace. So I'll put that up here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it right here. The reason I'm going to do that is it's going to connect my metal mine to my headquarters, and now you see no more blimps. Instead, the aluminum and the iron just gets automatically added to my stockpile. You see every second you can see it tick up more and more aluminum. Okay, so very soon I'll have a glass furnace pop up, and you'll see I'll have it needs some oxygen and it needs some silicon. So that's a problem. You see I got a red -1 here. I'm consuming 1 unit of silicon per second. That's because I don't have any silicon. And so I click on, go to silicon, click on the elemental quarry. So it's going to show me lines connecting me to the nearest and best carbon, and the yellow lines are for the silicon. So well, there's no high, but there's a medium that's not too far away from me, so I'm going to put it there. So that medium should produce more than 1 per second, so I should be good there. I've also dropped down negative on the oxygen. So basically one electrolysis reactor is not quite enough to supply the glass blower. In fact, the UI will hopefully tell me right now that I need, this glass furnace is not working because it needs silicon. So it's saying needs silicon. So I'm going to click on electrolysis reactor. So I'm going to build it adjacent to the next one. And in fact, the game is sort of giving me those little lines there, is suggesting that I should put it in one of these 2 spots. And that's because if I put it adjacent to my other reactor, I get the 50% bonus. So with the 2 reactors and on top of the 50% bonus, I'll essentially triple my output. So I should have plenty of oxygen now. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to buy some silicon directly from the market to make sure that I don't have to wait for that silicon to come from the from the south part of the map. Because as soon as I buy the silicon, it gets routed into my glass furnace. I start producing glass, and you see that's a good deal because I was buying silicon for $30 and I can sell glass for $100. And if I mouse over the glass furnace, you can see that basically 1 unit of silicon becomes 0.6 units of glass. So as long as glass is worth over double that of silicon, it's easily a profitable exchange to just go ahead and buy silicon, because then you can just sell glass for profit. So I've got all my requirements. I'm going to upgrade my colony. Got some I got some new claims to play with. Okay, so what's really profitable? We'll see. So now we get to the stock market. So I guess at some point the AI got added to the map, and you see that they founded a colony here. They're going in a spot full of carbon and aluminum, and they're building a geotherm there. They're grabbing a water resource here. If you click on their colony, well, they don't have any buildings up yet, but I'll show you what happens once their buildings are created. Okay, so they're starting to buy up some of my stock. This is how you win the game. You win the game by buying up all the stock in your competition. You see some of the stocks here are color-coded blue. Those are the ones that I own. The one that's red, that represents the one that Ms. Patton owns. The rest that are gray are available. So if I click the plus sign here, for $7,000, I'll buy a share of her stock. I'll keep clicking until I can't afford it anymore. So I'm now 40% of the way there to buying her out. Okay, great. So now let me click on Okay, I'm going to click on her colony. So you see there's lines coming from her colony. So if you're ever curious of what your opponents are doing, you can just click on their colony and you'll see there's a white line going there that shows me where her power is coming from. The blue line shows me where her water is coming from. And oh wow, I never found this spot. She got an even better spot than I did that had medium aluminum and medium iron on it. So that's a pretty awesome spot for her. But it's probably going to be too little too late because I'm making lots of money. So I'm going to build another geothermal plant down here because look how much power is selling for. What else is selling for a lot? Steel is. Okay, so let me put a steel mill next to here. What else is selling for a lot? Electronics. So I'm going to build electronics plant here. Electronics is an interesting resource because you actually need 3 resources to produce it. You need aluminum, carbon, and silicon. So I've got the silicon, I got the aluminum, I don't have the carbon. So let me go down here, click on elemental quarry. And I see there's some high carbon here. Since this is an ice map, let me show you one other thing. You see there's some water ice just north of me. So there's another sort of possible source of water on the map, which is an ice condenser, which basically melts the ice. So one nice thing about the ice condensers is that they do not require power. So you can build a bunch of them early, and you don't necessarily have to get a power plant up. So I'm going to put an ice condenser up here just so you can see that's another way to get some water. All right, so my economy is doing really well. So let me sell some of my resources and buy up some more of her stock. If you hold down the shift key, you can sell resources 100 at a time. And so you see I'm making lots of money, so she's not long for this world. And so anytime you see the buy button flash red like that, that means that if you have enough money to make the final buyout, basically. So I can buy out that last share of her stock for $13,000. I will then own her headquarters and win the game. All right, so I win. So it brings me to the stats part of the game. So these are our stock prices. This is the resource graph where you can see how the different prices went. You can see the powers in blue. It was a pretty good money maker for me. Where did I make? Yeah, see, I made 58,000 just from power. I made a lot from the made 14,000 from steel. Made 9,000, 5,000, 7,000 from all the life support. So it was good. I got the water and farms, electrolysis reactors up early. But that's that's an example of a way to win the second tutorial, Expansive. All right, so I'm going to shut down the stream for just a minute or so, and then restart, and then jump into the fourth tutorial.